quiet exterior, always smiling. A constantly working, disciplined mind. An officer who knows to distinguish between the right and wrong and stands steadfast behind the right. A leader who leads by example. I welcome the Director of Public Libraries, Mr. P. Shankar IAS, to welcome the gathering.
அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம். தமிழ்நாடு அரசின் சிறந்த முன்னெடுப்பான TNtalk நிகழ்விற்கு இன்று வருகை புரிந்துள்ள மேனாள் இந்திய ஆட்சிப்பணி அதிகாரியும் இந்தியவியல் ஆராய்ச்சியாளரும் இந்திய ஆட்சிப்பணி தேர்வு என்பது கடினமான தேர்வு என்று எண்ணிய காலத்திலே தமிழிலேயே இந்திய ஆட்சிப்பணி தேர்வு எழுதி அதை வெற்றியும் கண்டு எங்களை போன்றவர்களுக்கெல்லாம் போட்டித் தேர்வுகளுக்கு ஒரு நல் வழிகாட்டியாக திகழ்ந்தவரும் இந்தியாவில் தேர்தல் நடத்துவதே சவாலான பணி என்று பல அலுவலர் ஒதுங்கிய நேரத்தில் பல மாநில தேர்தலை வெற்றிகரமாக நடத்தி அதில் வெற்றி பெற்றவரும் பேரிடர் காலத்திலே விமர்சனம் இல்லாமல் பணிபுரிவது என்பதே கடினமான பணி. அதையெல்லாம் திறம்பட செய்து பேரிடர் மேலாண்மையில் விருது பெற்றவர் நம்முடைய சிறப்பு விருந்தினர், சங்க இலக்கியத்தில் கரை கண்டவர், நம்முடைய மண்ணின் மைந்தருமான திருமிகு பாலகிருஷ்ணன் ஐயா அவர்களை இந்நிகழ்வுக்கு வருக வருக என்று வரவேற்கின்றோம். ஐயா அவர்கள் 30 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு மேலாக ஆய்வு செய்து ஜேர்னி ஆஃப் சிவிலைசேஷன் இண்டஸ் டு வைகை என்ற ஆங்கில நூலையும் அதன் தமிழ் பதிப்பான ஒரு பண்பாட்டின் பயணம் சிந்து முதல் வைகை வரை என்ற நூலையும் தந்து தமிழுக்கும் தமிழ் சமுதாயத்திற்கும் பெருமையை தேடித்தந்த விதத்திலே மீண்டும் வருக என்று வரவேற்கின்றேன். அதே போல் இந்த வரலாற்று நிகழ்விலே 13வது TNtalk நிகழ்வு வருந்துள்ள கேரள மாநிலத்தை சேர்ந்த பாமா இன்ஸ்டியூட் எனப்படும் பட்டர்னல் அண்ட் மெட்டர்னல் ஆன்சிஸ்டர் சென்டர் என்ற நிறுவனத்தின் இயக்குனரும் ஆக்ஸ்போர்டு பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் முனைவர் பட்டத்தை பெற்றவரும் 2006 முதல் 2023 வரை கேரளாவில் பட்டணம் ஆராய்வுகளை தலைமையேற்று நடத்தியவரும் 60க்கும் மேற்பட்ட ஆராய்ச்சி கட்டுரைகளை எழுதியவரும் பன்னாட்டு ஆராய்ச்சிக்கான பிரிட்டிஷ் அகாடமி விருது உட்பட பல விருதுகளை பெற்றவருமான புகழ்மிக்க டாக்டர் PJ செரியன் அவர்களையும் துறை சார்பாக வருக வரவேற்கிறோம். அதே போல் இந்த நிகழ்வுக்கு வருந்துள்ள இந்த நிகழ்வுக்கு பெருமை சேர்த்துள்ள எழுத்தாளர்களையும் மாணவியர்களையும் பத்திரிகை மற்றும் ஊடக நண்பர்களையும் சான்றோர்களையும் வருக என்று வரவேற்கின்றோம். மொத்தத்திலே இந்த வரலாற்று நிகழ்வுக்கு வருந்துள்ள இரு பெரும் ஆளுமைகளையும் உங்கள் பலத்த கரவொலியுடன் வரவேற்பது மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகின்றேன். நன்றி.
Thank you very much, sir. The 3rd of October 2024, 4 p.m. is when we will delve deep into the fascinating realm of archaeology and literature. And who to help us dig deep into these two subjects but the two experts in this domain. First, we have an accomplished IAS officer who brings a wealth of knowledge and experience in the field of governance and cultural heritage. He will be discussing the intriguing intersection of archaeology and Sangam literature, shedding light on rich tapestry of the ancient South Indian culture. With his extensive background and passion for the preservation of our heritage, he will provide insights into the social, political, and environmental landscapes of the time. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming an officer and a gentleman, Dr. R. Balakrishnan, IAS retired. Sir, the space is yours.
Good evening, everybody. I know that it's a very structured talk, TNtalk, exactly for 20 minutes. Just now I told Kamachi to raise the hand and stop me because I don't wear watch. Okay, thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Sangar, Director, for your kind words. Mr. Dr. Cherian, the fellow speaker. Today I am going to speak about the archaeology and Sangam literature. I'm not, I think probably I'm not having the presentation with me. I will go by that. Okay, now first let's understand archaeology and Sangam literature is a topic which I am going to speak. Actually, the dilemma, this I am quoting Klein Daniel in the book Idea of Prehistory. He says, prehistorian is witness to the sad fact that the ideal species, and it is the cutlery and chinaware of a society that are imperishable. And even he quotes Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, he kept that in mind. because we are not able to decipher the language. We don't know whether they are religious, not religious, which religion, what type of people, what language and all. But then their cutlery in China, where their pottery is there. So he's lamenting. Then, based on that, my question is it possible to read artifacts and to excavate books? And it seems yes. I believe that it is possible. Of course, it is more to do with the context of artifacts and the nature and quality of literature. I underline the nature and quality of literature. If it is a literature which is more close to the people, it talks about the society, it's not a epic or a hero and that kind of worshipping religious text. You cannot expect that to be truthful to what. So Sangam literature wants such a secular, close to the people literature, which I strongly believe that it can rise up to that occasion. Next, you just have a look at it. The left side end is the three pictures are from the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, and middle is the Keeladi drone view, and then below is this left side is the Mohenjo-daro Harappa, and middle is the Keeladi artifacts as well as location, and third is the Sangha Ilakyam, and I particularly put the treatment of nature in Sangam literature, and then is the entire Pattum Tohayum. Next. And then, because it's a structured talk, I want to be very precise. I presented a paper sometime in 2012 and published in the IRC bulletin, which subsequently carried in harappa.com. It became an important input for my book in 2016, Sindhuveli Panbatin Dravida Adithalam, subsequently Journey of a Civilization. I came out with a clear clarity about how the high west and low east dichotomy of Indus city town planning is a Dravidian paradigm. Every archaeologist know that, whether it is a Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Dholavira, Lothal, Sarthugai, any place you take it, the western side will be elevated, the eastern side will be lower, and then everybody, the archaeologist, the moment he saw a higher ground mound in the west, he will look for the east for a lower one. If he is standing in the east, he will look up to the west for it. It is an article of truth, article of fact. But then no one asked basically why the west is always in the high and why the east is always in the low. The answer to this, I felt that it remains in the linguistics, that it remains in the comparative dictionary of the Dravidian languages, how the language gives name for the directions. How, like we call it the east, west, south, north. Then in Sanskrit and Hindi, we call it Prachin, Purva, Pakshim, or Uttar and Dakshin. So how these names are things. So I came to a conclusion, Dravidian follow a toponymic approach, whereas the Indo-Aryan follow an anthroponymic approach. Based on the, for example, in Kolami language, one of the Dravidian language, Pallam means east. If you go and tell Pallam, it's called east. So we proved it, and we proved that to be a Dravidian paradigm. So what helped was basically literature. And I will show you Sangam text. Next. Just you first one, I'm reading it. Vendri Nilaiya Vilupugal Wondri, Irubal Payariya Urukalu Mudu. And there are some people who mentioned that a city which is named twice or two type of names given. No. Irupal Payari mean is divided into two. It's a dichotomous. It's basically two, like you see the Sitrarayam, Perarayam, and Pali. Like that, you see always that Vadamadurai, Tenmadurai, Keelmadurai, like that, you always have that kind of, like lower town, Vadasennai, Tensennai, that kind of thing. The city belonging to your ancestor, long-standing ancient place in two parts. I consider this as a software that help us to open the Indus hardware. The dichotomous of the Indus city, anywhere in India, Indian subcontinent, somebody has written one single line about the dichotomous nature of the town planning. That is Sangam literature. And I am another thing, in Sangam text in Kurundogai, there is a girl which is just putting her kundal. Just in the kundala eduthu kila, just she is putting like this. And Sangam poet writes that, Mulaye mugil tanave, talaye kilaiye menkural, kilakku vilndanave. That means he is putting her kundal back. He says that kilakku vilndanave. It keel vilndanave. Because keel kilakku irandum ondre. Keel vilaivadal, that is called kilangu. Keel, Mel, Metrisai, Merku. All these things we proved that it's a key to open these kind of paradigms. Next. So grid iron pattern. The Indus cities or had a green iron pattern. Is something like somebody precisely cutting the cake. And then this is where the Mohenjo-daro is located. And this is an aerial view of Pallatur in Chettinadu. Before my book release, with the help of the district collector, I got a suit organized. We used the drone and took the picture. This is where the continuity. I always say that தோற்றம் எவ்வளவு முக்கியமானதோ அந்த அளவுக்கு முக்கியமானது தொடர்ச்சி. தோற்ற தொன்மை தொடரும் இளமை. The continuity hold the key. It's not only the antiquity and continuity. This is how the society and culture carried forward. Next. Then you see in the Sangam literature, the description about a town. ஆறு கிடந்தன்ன அகழ்நெடும் தெரு. There is a wide street, long width and thing. And it looks like as if a river is just there. It's there. ஆறு கிடந்தன்ன. There is a river. It looks like a river, huge river. So, ஆறு கிடந்தன்ன அகழ்நெடும் தெரு. And then you see the Mohenjo-daro city. பரல் பன்றி பல்கோலி உரைகிணற்று புறச்சேரி மேலகத் தகருடு சிவல் விளையாட. Look at the Keeladi. And where the pandri and the pigs, the bones have been found, and where there has been found with a modiram, with a pandri as a kind of seal. And then in the entire, we are also getting a lot of evidence. It's a Puracheri, it's a suburb of Madurai. Sembu Yendrana Seivuru Nedinjavar. Whole Sangam literature, you again and again get the imagery of the huge wall. Such kind of walls you are actually not getting. We started getting in Keeladi. But the description, which is a truthful literature like Sangam literature, I am consciously using the word truthful. There can be an exaggeration in Sangam literature. There can be imagination in Sangam literature. But beneath all that, there is an element of truth. Even when we say venerating a god, it questions. So that literature is fairly secular and fairly truthful. If that literature talks again and again by the wall, which was looking as if made of copper, nobody will make a huge wall using copper. Copper is a very costly and rare element, metal. But it looks as if made of copper. That means it's a burnt bricks, very strong, looking red, looking like a copper. Sembu iyendrenna, seivuru nedinjuvar. Sembu punaindanna. Like that, you can see the next also. Next. So then I am coming next to the Keeladi. If you go to Keeladi, you found that as of you know that in the first and second was done by Amarnath Ramakrishna. Third was done by somebody. They informed that nothing further to be dug there. Now currently 10th episode of the excavation is going on. We are getting hundreds and hundreds of material. So many ornaments, stones, and then particularly I am coming to that associated with the weaving industry. Cotton yarn, making that into cotton into the yarn, and then weaving and making a printing, and also putting the dyeing and doing the printing. The whole value addition process, you have the evidence in place like Keeladi, Kodumanal and other places. So, Alil Pendir Talin Seidan Nunangu Nun Panuval Pola. Tamil society make a provision that there is a family where there is no male member is available. He is died. Husband died. Or father, mother is not there. How a lady will take care of herself as a earning member. So, the system makes a provision. And it is suitable for them to make the yarn. Using takli or something like that, they stay at home. Somebody provides the raw material, panju. They convert into that particular thing and remove the seed and make the yarn. And they make the value addition. It is probably the first Suya Udavikulu, Magalir Suya Udavikulu of the entire Indian subcontinent. Alil Pendir Talil Seida Panuval. Yakuru Panjitragi, Villaru Panjin, Parithi Pendin. Can you imagine there's a terminology called cotton woman? As if they are in Erode, as if they are in Tirupur, as if they are in Coimbatore, as if they are in Madurai. Parithi Pendin, nowhere. Nehil Nool Mutin. So that means what you see is an archaeology in Keeladi and other places. You read it in Sangam literature. Somebody should stand with the Sangam literature and dig the Keeladi and other places. Another 293 places have to be dug in Vaigai Valley. And Keeladi alone, we have not even touched the tip of the iceberg. The western mound is yet to be touched. Next. And imagine the kind of ornaments. Vadamalai Piranda Maniyum Ponnum. This money is not found in South India. They say Vadamalai. There are certain Carnelian beads come from the Gujarat side, comes from the Rajasthan side. There is something called lapis lazuli and found in Kiladi now, found in Kodumanal. It's not found anywhere else in South Asia and Indian subcontinent other than a place called Sarthugai in Afghanistan, which is 1900 kilometers away, northwest of Mohenjo-daro. They go all the way 1900 kilometers, create a settlement and dig that wrong material, bring to the Gujarat and the South India and make a value addition, export to Sumeria. What an enterprising society that was. Highest GDP, the celebrating trade, maritime trade. வடமலை பிறந்த பணியும் மாமலை பயந்த காமரு மணியும் இடைபட செய்ய ஆயினும் தொடைபுணர்ந்து மலை பயந்த மணியும் கடறு பயந்த பொன்னும் பொன்சை கம்மியன் கைவினை கடுப்ப artisans, those who are making the value addition. All these people have been celebrated. There is one poem, I don't want to spend time, phenomenal in Kalitogai. I'll tell you one poetry, you will find the entire essence of the artisanship in Tamil Nadu, ranging from Kalsuvai, Suduban, Valaiyar. I think I have no time. You just have a look at it in Kalitogai. Phenomenal. All this material, you have it in Kiladi, get it in Kodumanal, get it in Adichanallur, Sivagalai, Alagankulam, and something in the Arikamedu, and all these things. What do you read in Sangam literature? People were thinking that Sangam literature guys have written Kadal, Veeram, and they are all Agam, Puram, and all. No. Sangam literature is an absolute portrayal of the society of that day. I hold a view, Sangam literature was not only recording the contemporary time, it was the essence of a carried forward memory. The source of that carried forward memory is the great Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. That is the reason we are telling that Sindhuveli Vittayidamum, Sanga Ilakyam Thottayidamum Undre Endru. Because no other literature in India has the telltale evidence for the Sangam literature. And the Indus Valley civilization. Next. Then look at this girl. And people call her as a dancing girl. Marcel called it, and then it's a go. Once a name given, is name given. Okay, I don't agree she was dancing. To me, she looks like she's going to join NCC or is going to join a scout. Okay, getting ready for her sports. For me, she looks like a Vinesh Bhogat. And then, so she's a size 0, young girl, pre-teen, maybe 13, 14 years, 12 years. And then somebody tried to put a pink color skirt for her in one of the government function last year in Delhi. Absolutely not acceptable. She's beautiful. And then, is there any literature in this country which can be quoted as a lion for this statue? This statue using lost wax method, even now made in Orissa by the Dravidian tribals, Austro-Asic tribals of Orissa and Jharkhand. I made this statue in the original size and brought here to Chennai, used in both my book release function in JOC in 2019, 2023 in the Tamil book, and gave this as a memento. And this is made by the tribals of India. And then is there any poetry which can be quoted in any other literature which will portray? I am reading these lines. Mayol Mungoi Ai Todi Kadukum, like pretty bangles on the forearms of a dark woman. I underline that. Dark woman. Is there any literature which talks about a dark woman in the classical literature anywhere in India? Amma meni niraidodi kurumagal. Oh, pretty young woman, like a tender mango sprout, wearing rosa bangles. You go to the millet field, I will kiss you. Phenomenal. And then Pavai enna korum tudi magalir. Women wearing small bangles who are as pretty as Kolli goddess. Pavai mari. நம்ம சொல்லுவோம்ல அந்த பாவை விளக்கு பாவைனாலே ஒரு பொம்மை சேர் மாதிரி. And she looks like a doll, she looks like a பாவை. And then வளை அணி முன்கை வாலியிற்று அமை நகை இயலர் ஆடும் தலையவில் காணல். So that's I'm telling you, if you have to understand Indus Valley, you have to read Sangam literature. Because Sangam literature is not a literature of a district, it's not a literature of a state, it's not a literature of a Tamil alone, it's a literature of a pan-Indian application. And then implication is a literature of Indian subcontinent. Next. And I'm straight coming to that. Where the archaeology and Indian history, I'm not talking about a Tamil archaeology, Indian history, Tamil archaeology and Sangam literature standing together and sacking hand. There is nowhere else. It is in the Kiladi you will find that. Look, this one, dices found in Kiladi is a cubic dice. there's a two type of dice. One is the rectangular. If you play the rectangle 2 dice, you will get the maximum 8 as a number. 4, 4, 8 or 4, 3, 7. Or in the Vedic period, the Ray writes a huge book on the sports during the Vedic time. They were using a seed, Thandri Kottai. Like a puliyam vidaya we are using for the tamarind seed like that. They were using a seed of a plant and playing the pagadai. And whereas in Sangam literature tells that a lady is waiting for a lover to come. If he comes immediately, she will be very happy. If he doesn't come, he comes late, then her mind will be something like, he doesn't turn up, she will be very unhappy. So this particular emotion is parallelly mentioned with the what is happening in the dice game. So he doesn't come, she is not happy, Sirvitam. Only small number comes. He plays, number 2 comes, number 1 comes, number 3 comes. Maruvitam, she gets a 4 and again asking for next again 4. You know that in the Thayam games they will ask for again 4. Like that Maruvitam, Sangam literature uses. It uses the word, when he comes immediately, she is so happy, her lover has come. Pattu Uruvam Petran. Pattu Uruvan Petran Manambol Nandiyal. Somebody getting 10 number and is so happy and he has come. And many Urayasiriyar commentators have written, how the hell anybody will get a number 10? Because in our game, number 10 is not coming. Probably such a game was there. And somebody else gave a different type of story for this 10 number. But we found it out. The 10 mean it's a cubic dice. Arugona pagadai. Probably, I don't know, Ganasadaram is the right word, or Arugona pagadai could be a cubic dice, would be a right word. It's a Arugona pagadai. You will find it the 6 as a number in one side, and 6 plus 4, 10, or 5 plus 5, 10. The only way you can get 10 number in the dice game recorded in the only one literature, that is Sangam literature. This is found in Mohenjo-daro, in Harappa, in Lothal, and in Keeladi. Do you want any other evidence where the archaeology and literature meets? I am searching for a dice played by Pandavas. It's called Mahabharatam age. People, historians are writing that in Mahabharata age. I am asking them on what basis you are calling that as a Mahabharata age. We are yet to find a dice. Can there be a Mahabharata without a dice game? Where is the dice found? So whereas Lothal, Mohenjo-daro, and Harappa, in Keeladi, and in Sangam literature, we are talking about a Pattu Uruvam. That is where the literature and history meets. Next. So I already told about that. Pattu Uruvam Petraval. When you united with her on the shore with the pearl-like sun, she was in bliss like a man who got number 10. Rolling dice while gambling. Next. Next, quick. Okay, Bos Indigas. And in 2017, the Marina was absolutely on fire. In the end of the thing, in the January. And then they would not have moved out. And Jallikattu has to be, for whatever the reason, it has to be restored. And it was restored. The reason being, who are the people who are standing there? Are they guys from Alanganallur? Are those the guys from the Palamedu or Madurai? No, they are from OMR. They were working in IT companies. They are from Chennai. So whole society gathered. In Burma, they were actually running a Jallikattu. One of my friend in IFS in Australia telling that, why your Tamil guys are giving petition to me in Sydney and Melbourne. This is the way the whole world Tamils were reacting, because it is not another game. Look at this one. Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro, then you get this particular a kettle, a bull, playing with, that means it's a tossing few people. So we thought that the same guy is falling and it's given in the animation. No, it is not. One fellow head is this side, another fellow head is that side. One fellow cannot go like this. It's a more than one person. 3-4 people are being tossed around by an animal. This is the only evidence, something like a direct relay of that particular event. Somebody is putting in a small stone. And next comes the today's Jallikattu. And then where in the TV it is unfolding. We were telling a cameraman, you have to catch this pose. This fellow has to be tossed around like that. So we gave this particular picture to him. We told him we want a picture like this. It was happening in front of our thing. I will read from Kalittogai now. Take next page. It's written by a Cholan king, not an Alanganallur guy, not a Madurai guy. It's a Cholan Nallurithran. தகை வகை மிசை பாயிர் ஆர்த்து உடன் எதிர் சென்றார் பலர் கொலை மலி சிலை செறி செயிராயர் சினந்து சிறந்து உருத்து எழுந்து ஓடின்று மேல் எழுந்தது துகள் ஏற்றனர் மார்பு கவிழ்ந்தன மறுப்பு கலங்கினர் பலர். இஸ் a direct telecast. It's like a நேர்முகை வர்ணனை of 2000 years back in Sangam literature. One Solan king writes about the Jallikattu. Another guy, 2500 before that, in 2500 BC, somebody putting that in the Mohenjo-daro. Even today in January, it is being direct telecast in all TV channels. This is what called archaeology and literature meet each other and shake hand with each other. Next, pipes and drains. If you have a time, look for something in internet, go to YouTube and put Keeladi Narpadu. Sometime in 2019-20, I was recording 40 episodes from Orissa when I was there. It was being telecast in Kalangar TV and Sun TV, I think. This is called Keeladi Narpadu. Like Inna Narpadu, Iniyavai Narpadu. I do it in my own style. I want a Keeladi Narpadu. So I gave a 40 episode, 4 minutes, 5 minutes of each question I asked. So what is a pipe? And Mohenjo-daro is known, the drainages, pipe, structures in Keeladi, and then terminologies in the Kalaichol in Sangam literature, Surungai, and even in Sangam literature, the lovers are sleeping. There is a household, there is a Vaigi river getting a huge water flow. And the overflow of the water is being taken out of the city, town, using a huge pipe type, hidden in the wall. In the wall, there is a pipe, the water is flowing. It may happen once or twice a year, but the water has to be crossed. This is an arrangement, that kind of arrangement in the Indus cities. In Madurai, they are putting that. Look at the story it travels. Puttukku Mansumanda Kadai. Why Sivabrahman is Puttukku Mansumanda Kadai? Why again and again in Tamil Tonmangal, the Vellam, the flood stories are coming. Why Kaveri Pumbatinam flood story is coming. Why Kavadapuram, why Tenmadurai, Vadamadurai, Puttukku Mansumanda Kadai. Again and again, the Tamil society is being haunted by the carried forward memory of the past natural disasters. Next, that is how they did the engineering of the town. Next, so Mother Goddess, there is a no need, and Indus Valley, the last one is Adichanallur. Sangam literature is full of Mother Goddess. If it is a Kadu, Kanamar Selvi. If it is a Kadalkeli Selvi, Palayol, Kotravai. All kind of women goddess. Look at the Vedic literature, you will not find any female god. All the male dominant world. So, but whereas in Indian villages, that is the reason, if you scratch any Indian, 80% of the people will have some Harappan element in them. Whether it's a North India, whether it's a Himachal Pradesh, whether it's a Uttar Pradesh, or Orissa, or Bengal, or Tamil Nadu, end of the day, the village deity is a female. Where she came from? Did she come from Vedic literature? She came from Harappan, Mohenjo-daro, and Sangam literature. That is how Indian female goddesses are guarding every villages of India. This is how the archaeology looks like. Next, Cock City is Indus seal number 338. There is a bull which is considered to be the icon. This is another symbol which is Airavata Mahadevan, and many scholars have identified. Even in Egyptian, Sumerian, all these particular Bronze Age civilization, this is considered to be an icon for the city. And then subsequently Airavata Mahadevan called is a non-moda kudal, if it is divided into 4. But I gave an interpretation, because then they gave an interpretation called Cock City, Cheval Nagaram. And then because in the post-Vedic and Vedic literature, there is a term used like a Kukud Arma. Arma means Sidaivadainda Nagarangal. That means the ruined city is called Arma Armika. So there is a Kukud Arma, mean the ruin of the Cock City. So people, that is from the Sanskrit, they have rebus technique, they have thing. Even today in Oriya and Bengali language, Kukuda mean cock or hen. So this is a progress, it gets into that. So they talk about the Cock City. I gave a little different interpretation. I made an interpretation in my book in 2016. There are 2 cocks are there, several. And both when they wall podachirukku paranga. It's a straight wall. Call is not touching the floor. Taraila call padama just a little elevated position irukku. If you want to convey that this city is known for Cock City, That means what is great about Seval and Koli? Seval and Koli is not Aburva Paravai. So it is there in every village. So then what is the beauty about that cock city? It has to be. So somebody says that city is having a numerous cocks. That means you have to give too many number. That means multiple mean it has to be 3 or 4 like that. Why 2? That means the 2 cock mean it fights with each other. That means it becomes the symbol of the competitive spirit of Tamil Nadu and the Indus city. And that is what Sangam literature always talk about. Kilacheri Chevalu, Melacheri Cheval, Urayasriyar are writing. Sangam literature recording. Arasalapuram and Indalur near Vilupuram, Dindivanam area. And 6th century and 7th century. There are 2, what you call Puripugal inscription with a picture of the Seval. In one of the picture, it's a Nadugal for Seval which died in the war. That means while fighting with the thing. Kilacheri Seval and Melacheri Seval are fighting. And the Kilacheri Seval dies. And the Seval has got a pet name, or sella pair. Purku tree nadukku peru. Golden cock peru. அதாவது பொற்தாரகை அப்படி மாதிரி. So then there is a Nadugal for the fighting cock in Sangam Tega, in Tamil Nadu. And Adugalam is a movie made in Tamil Nadu. If you go and make an Adugalam in Hindi or some other language, fellows will go mad. They cannot even understand that. Adugalam can find a narrative and the articulation only in a place like Tamil Nadu. Then you find in Tamil Nadu, outside Tamil Nadu, in Andhra, Karnataka, in Tulu region, and then in Pakistan. Even today, Kolichandai is very famous in the Indus region. So again, Kolichandai and Jallikattu, all these things is a continuity. You go to the Thiruvarumbur in Trichy, and this is a solar coin, Chola coin, 1st century BC, where ஒரு யானை and ஒரு சேவல் வந்து சண்டை போடுது. முரஞ்செவி வாரணம், புரஞ்செவி வாரணம். முரஞ்செவி வாரணம் மீன் முரம் மாதிரி காதுகளை கொண்ட யானை. புரஞ்செவி வாரணம்னா செவி புறத்தில் கொண்ட சேவல். இது ரெண்டும் சண்டை போட்டது வந்து தி லிட்ரேச்சர் ரெக்கார்ட்ஸ். அண்ட் தென் யூ கோ டு திருச்சி இன் உறையூர் and the same kind of thing in the Panjavarneshwarar Koil. Even today you will find a Pudaipi Chirpam where a cheval is going to fight with a யானை. And then because of the யானையை எதிர்த்து இந்த சேவல் சண்டை போட்டதுனால அந்த இடத்துல உறையூர் என்ற கோழியூரை நிறுவுகிறான். சோழனுக்கு இன்னொருத்தர் வந்து சோழனுடைய தலைநகரம் கோழியூர். ஆக இண்டஸ் சைன், அரசலாபுரம் கல்வெட்டு, சங்க இலக்கியம், திருச்சிக்கு அருகே இருக்கக்கூடிய புடைப்பு சிற்பம், சோழருடைய நாணயம். This is a continuity where the archaeology and literature meets. Next. So I already told Sembu Punaindiyattriya. Look at the walls in Keeladi and the Sengal size. Before the finding of the Keeladi and all this literature, and we were talking about a second urbanization. Nobody knows before John Marshall. Why are we celebrating John Marshall? Before John Marshall announcing the grand discovery of this great civilization, everybody was believing that Indian articulation of Indian civilization starting from Vedic literature. He threw the bombshell. Before 1924, we were thinking, there's a place called Rajagriha in Bihar, and there some wall was found. That wall, brick wall, was considered to be the ancient most wall of the Indian subcontinent. But all these stories broke. Now you can at the best tell Rajagriha is a second urbanization, which is comparable, if not later than the Keeladi or the comparable period. It's a second wave of migration. The first wave of migration is in Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. We may get further evidence in Tamil Nadu itself. At that time, we can reposition ourselves. But what Sangam literature records is not only the second urbanization of Indian subcontinent, but it also dutifully records the carried forward memory of the first flourishing urban climax, that is Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Next. So trading, international trading, barrel beads, lapis lazuli, all in Keeladi and other places. 10 days back, 2 weeks back, I went to Keeladi. I saw the lapis lazuli. I was so happy. And again, I saw a place where in same Mudumakkal Thali, there's a 2 skeleton. It is yet to be seen whether it's one is male or female. But the Sangam literature says about the one lady is asking, her husband is died. She is also outstationed. He has gone with her. She is so much desolated. She is totally abandoned. She faced that whether Kalamsai Kove, the pot-making chief, can you make a bigger pot where 2 people can be buried? So in Keeladi, we have found 2 people buried. We are waiting for the result. Either way, either the literature and archaeology, nowhere else in India meets the way it meets in Keeladi. Next. And I am finishing this one. because it's already, I know that it's not rising hand. Maritime trade, terracotta omelette in Mohenjo-daro, depicts ship with a cabin and birds. These two birds are like a campus. Like at those days, there was no compass to tell the northern, which is the northern side. The trade was all not through the blue water in the mid-sea. It is always the littoral, the coastal thing. So a small navai. And then when there is a doubt that whether in the right course, whether we are going towards the sea, and they will release these two birds. The two birds start flying, and I'll come back to the boat. If both the birds are flying towards one direction, that is the right direction where the shore is there. You know that the birds know the direction very well. They go 15,000 kilometers from the Arctic region to Africa to lay egg without stopping in single place. That is the beauty of the migration of the birds. And my birds know it, this technology was used. And then this is where the a Meluga in Sumeria, an Indus trader going and selling the buffalo, and he was he was also carrying a translator, and full of Tamil literature. Kadale kaldanda kalam ennuvor. Few females are sitting in the coastal town near a port and counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. The boats are, the ships are coming from the foreign countries. They are counting like that. Imagine the kind of trade. And then kalam tanda pon parisam, yavanar nalgalam tanda tangamal teral. It's a trade with the Greek and Roman. And Mr. Cherian will throw the light. The Mussoories papyruses in the Vienna, in Austria thing, where they are kept in that. And then again, this one, the Kumbodu Meepai Kalayadu Misaiparam Tondadu Pugar Pugunda Perungalam Tagar, Idaipula Perivali Choriyum, Kadalbal Taratnadu. This is a very interesting thing. What Cherian is doing in Mussoories, the Pattinam, it is not exactly the port on the sea. From the sea, it will get into the riverside. I think, Mr. Cherian, this is a Periyar river, na? This is beginning of it's a Periyar river. So there it will get into that, the loading, unloading will take place. And then the Sangam literature again talks about a ship coming, and then the fellow does not know, because the coming in the high sea is something different. If you have to get into the sea area, you have to adjust your pie, and then you have to, every lot of adjustment has to be made. If he is not technically sound enough to do that, he will just play and go and dash. So then what normally the loading and unloading will take place inside the sea. Small boats will go and take the unloading and loading instead of taking the ship into the riverside. What he is doing in Sangam literature, he is exactly writing that kind of scenario. And again, Sulliyam Periyatru Vennurai Kalanga. He is talking about a Periyar, he talks about a Periyaru. Yavanar Tanda Vinaiman Nangalam, Ponnodu Vandu Kariyudu Peyerum, Valam Kelu Mussoorie. Valam Kelu Mussoorie, Periyaru, trade with the Greek and Roman. And that is what the Mussoories papyrus in Vienna Museum says. That is what Mr. Cherian is going to talk about. I think that's what the end of it. Next. I am glad to introduce early Tamil text as key to understand both the riddles of Indology, namely the Indus riddle, the riddles of Tamil origins. And to state that at the excavation sites like Keeladi, we find Sangam text standing closely and throwing new lights. Keeladi looks like a Sangam text not fully dug. And Sangam text resemble Keeladi that is not fully read. And the Sanga Ilakyam innum முழுவதுமாக தோண்டப்படாத கீழடி என்பது இன்னும் முழுவதுமாக வாசிக்கப்படாத சங்க இலக்கியம் என்று சொல்லி விடைபெறுகிறேன். Thank you very much.
What a captivating presentation, sir. You opened our eyes, minds, and hearts and took us into a rich cultural heritage, leaving us digging for more and thirsting for more. Thank you so very much. We have been taken back in time. Now let's snap into the present, learn a little bit about the very place, this edifice that we are sitting in, the Anna Centenary Library, an amazing storehouse of knowledge. The Anna Centenary Library, an eye-opener.